Hi, thanks for joining me today for another episode of White Women in Distress. This podcast is about raising awareness for missing kids, teens, and adults. My goal is to help spread the word and find those who are missing. We need to come together as a community to find these people. We need to stop ignoring what we see and start looking out for each other. I understand that you want to stay safe, but it's important to speak up when you notice something's wrong. If someone you loved was missing, you would want people to help. People who think, this could never happen to me, need to understand it can happen to anyone. Every day, children, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles go missing. You don't have to put yourself at risk. You can always call tips in anonymously. Our goal should be to bring everyone home safely. Everyone deserves to know what happened, and families deserve closure. Viewer discretion is advised. This content may discuss violence, sexual assault, and murder, which may be distressing to some. Listener discretion is advised. Hi, welcome to another episode of White Women in Distress, the podcast dedicated to raising awareness about missing persons and cold cases. I'm your host. Today, we're going to be discussing the tragic and mysterious disappearance of Dawnita Wilkerson from Evansville, Indiana. Dawnita vanished June 21st, 2020. And despite ongoing investigations, her case still remains unsolved. So with that being said, let's delve into the details of the case, because not a lot of people know about this one. Dawnita was last seen on June 21st, 2020. She was captured on surveillance footage at approximately 8:16 p.m., leaving an East Side motel in Evansville, Indiana, and getting into a silver 2004 Chevrolet Suburban with tinted windows and a sunroof. This vehicle was later traced traveling west through southwest Indiana and into southern Illinois. By the next morning, Dawnita's phone was shut off, and she has not been heard from since, which is definitely unlike her based off of all of the news videos that I've watched. Her family said that was not like her at all because she always had communication with them. Dawnita was a 44-year-old mother of 6, known for her loving nature and daily communication with her family. When she didn't call her mother or her daughters the next morning, as was her usual routine, her family immediately grew concerned and reported her missing. According to her family, Dawnita had been receiving threatening messages from 2 men in the days leading up to her disappearance. One of these men was a former boyfriend who had a history of domestic violence against her. Court records show that this ex-boyfriend had been arrested multiple times in 2018 and 2019 for assaulting Dawnita. Despite changing her phone number to avoid these men, they somehow managed to obtain her new contact information, which I find weird because somebody has to be giving out her number. They somehow got her new number after she changed it to get away from them, but most of the time it's the people that are closest to us that would give our number out to people, even without it meaning bad things. They just have the best interest at heart, and they may come up to them and be like, hey, I want to apologize. So what's her number? Or there's a lot of different things that could have happened for her number to get out there. I just find it weird that she changed her number and then they almost immediately had her new number, which shouldn't happen. On the morning of the disappearance, Dawnita called a family member expressing fear and mentioned that she was with the 2 men who had been threatening her. She even asked if the relative knew anyone who had a gun, indicating how frightened she was for her safety. The owner of the SUV Dawnita was seen entering has been identified by the police, but this individual has refused to cooperate with the investigation. They did not release his name. I was not able to put it in here and also look it up because I was going to have a whole section into however long they had been dating, and then I was going to look into the cases that she had filed reports against him for assault, but I did not get that information. The owner of the SUV Dawnita was seen entering has been identified by police, but the individual refused to cooperate with the investigation. Dawnita's family has expressed their frustration with lack of progress in the case and the recent decline in communication from authorities. They haven't found any evidence. They haven't found anything on where she could be, what happened to her, And with the guys not cooperating, it's not helping everything, and it's just making this case drag on out. They remain hopeful, however, that someone with information will come forward. Dawnita is described as an African-American female with black hair and brown eyes. She stands at 5'3" and weighs 145 pounds. She has several distinctive tattoos, a heart on her lower back, praying hands with the name Timmy on her upper right shoulder, and a cross on her upper left shoulder. At the time of her disappearance, she was wearing a red V-neck shirt with St. Louis on the front, blue denim shorts, dark colored socks with white polka dots, and sandals. The impact of Dawnita's disappearance on her family had been profound. They've tirelessly searched for answers, holding vigils, distributing flyers, hoping to keep her case in the public eye. Most cases aren't even known by the public, let alone people around the United States. So I want to really get it out there and tell everybody, like, hey, if you do see her, you did see her, please speak up. Despite the family's effort, Dawnita's whereabouts remain unknown, and her case remains open. The FBI and the Evansville Police Department continue to investigate, and a $5,000 reward is being offered for information leading to her discovery. If you have any information regarding Dawnita Wilkerson's disappearance, please contact the Evansville Police Department at 812-436-7979 or the FBI Annapolis Field Office at 317-595-4000. I really hope that they get some answers soon, and I really hope that she is found so the family has closure, but I also want her to come home safe. I want her to be able to hang out with her kids again and be able to be that mom that she was before. And I'm just as hopeful as the family is. Thank you for listening to today's episode of White Woman in Distress. Remember to subscribe to the podcast and follow us along on social media for updates on this and other cases. Together, we can help bring justice and closure to these tragic stories. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant. And if you see something, say something or do something.